Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. We're continuing now at 12:30.
Hundreds have packed a small Kentucky town to show their support for a jailed county clerk.
Republican presidential candidates Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee will be in Carter County this afternoon to visit with Kim Davis. Huckabee will hold a rally for her right after the meeting. WKYT's Victor Puente is live outside the jail where people have already started gathering. Victor?
That crowd has been growing all morning. The people gathered here tell me that federal judge had no authority to send Kim Davis to jail. She's been here 6 days now for refusing to issue same-sex marriage licenses. Republican presidential candidates Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz have said they plan on paying Davis a visit behind bars. Candidate for governor Matt Bevin also plans on being here. Judge David Bunning had her remanded into custody last Thursday after she refused to comply with his order to issue same-sex marriage licenses. Her attorneys say her Christian beliefs prevent Davis from attaching her name to those licenses. She's one of 3 county clerks in Kentucky refusing to issue gay marriage licenses. People here tell me they drove hours to come support Davis and to register their displeasure with the Supreme Court, who ruled that gay marriage bans are unconstitutional.
What they have done is went around the Constitution. They're not going by it. Somebody's got to stand up and say no to that bunch.
Despite the crowd behind me, that rally doesn't start for another 2 hours. I asked one of the deputy jailers here when Cruz and Huckabee would be meeting with Davis. He told me he wasn't sure just how that would work yet. Live in Carter County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And Davis's attorneys have filed an appeal to try to have her released from jail.
We continue to track the search for a robber behind a string of hotel robberies. While police in Danville look for the suspect, one hotel manager in Richmond is questioning whether the robber hid his business. WKYT's Hillary Thornton has more from Madison County.
The manager here at Best Western in Richmond says when he heard the description for a suspect in 3 robberies in Danville, it matched the description of a man who tried to steal from his clerk just last week.
I was a white or a light-skinned male wearing a dark hoodie and also wearing a blue bandana.
That is how Danville police described the man they say is a possible serial robber, matching the description given for the man seen in this surveillance video from the Richmond Hotel. General Manager Matthew Vaughn, who could not talk on camera due to corporate policy, says last Monday the man wearing a black hoodie and a blue bandana over his face came into the hotel just before 11:30 that night, holding a gun and demanding cash. He says his clerk then explained they do not accept cash and therefore do not have any at the desk. The suspect, as seen in this video, then ran off empty-handed. Now, I did just speak with Richmond police, who say they have now learned about the Danville robberies, and they're now looking into the possible connection here. In Richmond, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. Police say the suspect only got away with money a few times. However, just attempting a robbery will still land you in jail and facing serious charges, especially when a gun is involved. Students returned to school without one of their classmates this morning. Lauren Osland was one of 3 people killed in a crash in Jessamine County this weekend. She was a first grader at Julius Marks Elementary in Lexington. School leaders say they're talking to the students about the loss, but it's a difficult conversation.
The word death and dying are not words that are frequent in their vocabularies, and we want to help them as much as we can and support their emotions of what they're feeling and why they're feeling that.
Osland's brother Michael and their mother were also badly hurt. Michael is a 5th grader at Julius Marks. Their mother's fiance and the driver who hit them both died as well.
A massive fire is continuing to smolder this afternoon in downtown Paintsville. Firefighters say 30-foot flames were lighting up the nighttime sky when they arrived at the Spare Time bowling lanes last night. The fire also spread to a barber shop and then to other stores and to several homes. Some alert neighbors helped everyone make it out safely.
I lost a lot of stuff and it's just like a nightmare.
And a couple of neighbors we just ran over. Actually ran upstairs. Apparently no one knew what was going on. We ran upstairs, knocked on the first door I came to, was able to get a few people out that way.
One firefighter went to the hospital after falling. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused that massive fire. Family and friends will remember a U.S. airman who was killed in Afghanistan. That visitation will be tonight for Air Force Captain Matthew Rowland. It will be from 5 until 7 at Lexington Catholic High School. His funeral will then follow at 7. Captain Rowland died last month in a shooting at a vehicle checkpoint. He will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Deputies have arrested a man who they say grew marijuana near a school. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they found marijuana plants growing in small buckets at Larry Helton's home on Orange Blossom Lane. We're told that he was less than 1,000 feet away from the Wyanpan Elementary School. Deputies there say they also found marijuana, Suboxone, drug paraphernalia, a shotgun, and shotgun shells in Helton's house. He is charged with drug trafficking and possession, as well as being a felon in possession of a gun. The Minnesota dentist who killed a beloved lion in Zimbabwe returned to work today.
Walter Palmer had to keep his dental clinic closed for a few months because of outrage over the lion's death. David Becknow has more on the reopening in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Protesters shouted, "Extradite Palmer," as the dentist who killed Cecil the lion returned to his office in Minnesota for the first time since sparking an international outcry.
He's despicable. He's a killer. He's a murderer. How many lions do we have left? You have to kill them all.
Walter Palmer had temporarily closed his dental practice in Bloomington after the incident triggered a massive social media backlash. In an interview over the weekend, he said, quote, "If I had known this lion had a name and was important to the country or a study, obviously I wouldn't have taken it." Only a handful of protesters turned out to see Palmer's return. It was much smaller than previous demonstrations. There was one woman who showed up as a supporter.
We're worried about a lion, and you want to shut down some man's business who paid to go on a safari. Many people pay for this kind of stuff.
The hunter who helped Palmer kill the rare black maned lion has been charged in Zimbabwe with failure to prevent an illegal hunt. But as of this point, Palmer has not been charged with any crime. David Becknow, CBS News, Bloomington, Minnesota.
Police have a security camera set up outside the dentist's office. Authorities say it will remain there as long as there's a need for it.